Welcome. In this lab module, we are going to explore MongoDB. So we'll take a quick introduction to MongoDB, which is a NoSQL document database. And then we'll set up the MongoDB cluster on the cloud. And then we'll connect to the MongoDB database using Python and perform some CRUD operations. So let's get started. So what is MongoDB? MongoDB is a NoSQL database. It's a document database. So MongoDB's documents are encoded in JSON-like BSON format. BSON stands for binary JSON. So binary JSON encodes type and length information, making it very fast, and very quick to traverse the document structure itself. The binary JSON adds non-JSON native data type like date and binary data into your document as well. So it's also a natural shift for modern OOPS methodology, right? So this is essentially MongoDB gets used quite a lot in order to reduce the problems of the relational object impedance mismatch. So, while exploring MongoDB, some of the RDBMS terminologies that we have looked at, what is it being called in MongoDB? So, a database refers to a database only. A table is typically called a collection, right? So, a database is a set of collections, right? Then a row is essentially the document. The column corresponds to the field. So, primary key is primary key. So as I said, MongoDB does provide some kind of table join. It's called embedded documents. So now let's go on to create our MongoDB cluster on the cloud and get started. So now you are logged into your cloud.mongodb.com. So once you are logged in, you should see this, right? So or you can click on database. Then you build a database. So go ahead, look at it. So you don't have to use any of the paid versions. Go ahead and create your shared cluster. Right. So typically this is a shared cluster. So you can choose the cloud provider and region. So I'm choosing the one that is closest to me, Singapore, right? And then I'm all set. So I have the cluster tier, right? So this is free, and I'm just going to keep this thing, and probably I can call this cluster as cluster trial. So trial. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click create cluster. So while the cluster gets provisioned, I can create a username. So I want to create, so typically in a database, you can create a MongoDB like your Postgres database, right? MongoDB itself as a username, and then give it a particular password, right? So, and you create your user. So you also need to make sure that you're adding your system's IP onto your onto this database, so that you will be able to access it from your application. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that. So I will, so once you enter this, you can, your add entry would be available. So just click on it. All right, so I'm going to pause this for a while and then I'll come back. Created your cluster. If you look in your database, you should be able to see your cluster trial, right? So there are multiple ways to connect to your database. So if you want to connect using your application, essentially your Python version 3.6 and above, right? So this is essentially your connection string. So before we connect using Python, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first load some data into it. So go on, click on browse collection, right? So if you look at it, there isn't any data. So you load a sample data set. So go ahead, load a sample data set. So 350 MB. So go ahead, load it. So this is going to take a couple of minutes to come into picture. So while it's doing that, you can go to the overview tab, right? So you can see that, hey, it's actually trying to load this data. All right, so you can look at explore these different tabs, go back to collections. Right, so as the data gets loaded, you will be able to start seeing some of the databases that get loaded. All right, so now let's go and see how do we connect to the MongoDB that we have created using our Python program. Now we look at how do we connect to MongoDB via your Jupyter notebook. All right, so let's wait for 10 to 15 minutes for the data to be loaded. While it's getting loaded, you can open the MongoDB _oncloud _crud startercode.ipynb that is being given to you. All right, then do a pip install of pymongo. So pymongo is a Python wrapper to connect to the Mongo database. All right, so your code, we are then importing your pymongo and then importing Mongo client. All right, so you can go and look at what are all the sample data sets that got loaded. So in the place of the URL, you will essentially have to copy paste it with the connection string that you got from the Mongo cloud, right? And then replace the password within brackets. So don't put the brackets, the entire string, you replace it with the actual password. You should be able to connect to it. So I'm just going to walk you through how do we connect to the database. We are going to connect to one of the sample training database. Right, so that has a multiple set of collections. So as the data loads in, so my data is still loading in, so there will be a few more collections in your case. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect to the collection inspection. All right, so then let's go ahead and look at querying your document. So if you want to just find one, your top one, you can go ahead, find one. You can count the number of documents in a collection. Right, then you can go ahead and make these conditional statements. So if you look at the data, this data comes from multiple organizations having some violation reports, right? After inspection, whether there has been a violation or not. So that's what is each of the document referring to. Right, so you can look at inspect finding the business name based on a particular business, right? Then so in this case there are two inspection reports from the ATLIXCO Delhi grocery, right? So you can see both of it. So if I look at all the grocery related business name, right, so I'm just going to walk you through the code. So you can essentially look at all of these different grocery, the inspection report for these different grocery chains. Right, so and then you can also use a comparative operator. So you can take a look at this link and look at, so here I'm looking at all the businesses where the result is no violation, is not equal to no violation issued. So all the results where violation is issued, I want to know. Right, so if I look at it, so that's what I'm looking at here. So the ones which have violation is about 42740. Right, and then I'm looking at, so I can also list all the documents, put them into a list. Right, so if I'm using regular expression to check if it is a mobile food vendor. Right, so different types of comparison operator I am essentially using here. Okay, so your assignment would be to connect to the sample Airbnb database, right, and the collection listing and review. Then go ahead and query, understand what's happening in the listing and review, and query and find properties near UNESCO heritage site. Right, so this is your querying part of it, retrieval of data. So next we are going to go ahead and insert data. So in this case, so I'm just creating a document and then I can directly insert. So because each document can have multiple structure, right? It won't give you any error. It will go ahead and insert, right? So and then this is your article key, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and look for that, find this author, right? So I'm going to go ahead and insert many authors, right? Go ahead, and then if I want to look at only documents which have author and title, if I run this, all of the documents don't have author and title, right? So it's all going to be blank. Only the last few documents that I have looked at has author and title, right? So it's going to take a while. So if I go all the way down, you will see this. Right, so now let's go on to, so you can also inspect and find for different. So if you don't want to return the entire document, you want to return only a subset of attributes of the document, you can also do that, right? So here is a way, assignment for you to create a few documents and insert it into a listing and review collections. So you try it out, right? And then I'm going to update a document, right? So this is my query. I'm looking for a particular author and going to set that author to a different author. So now I can find that author. So go ahead and practice your updating this thing as well. And finally, you're deleting document. So you can go ahead and, so whatever the new updated document, I can take the ID, right? I can delete it. And then if I'm looking for that article, you're not going to find any, right? So in the event that you're looking for all textbooks which are about Python, so there are just one more. So if I can delete it by also looking at a condition, right? So go ahead and practice your delete documents as well. All right. So this is a code walkthrough of how we can connect to the MongoDB database and do CRUD operations on it. To summarize this lab, so in this lab we got introduced to MongoDB. So we set up the MongoDB cluster on the cloud. Then we connected to the MongoDB using Python and then performed the create, retrieval, update and delete operation on a document database. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you.